What's up? Jan in the wild, back at it here on this foggy, misty morning. Check this out. So I'm in a hayfield, right? This just looks like regular grass, but in the summer it gets to super high hay, but it's just grass. How can you? Don't understand it. Anyway, yesterday we spoke about Jonathan Tah. I reacted to an article suggesting Chelsea are front runners in negotiating a free transfer for the German defender. Mixed reviews from you, man. Some of you said, like, yeah, wicked. Some of you guys saying he's too slow. Lots of people highlighting the fact how he is a great passer of the football. My opinion's the same. I want to nurture the centre-back partnership of Wes and Levi long term. And yeah, man, England won yesterday, scored loads of goals. Poor Noni Madueke trying his hardest for that first England goal. Everyone else was like two other first scorers in Gallagher, which was nice for him. That geezer who's going to marry Roy Keane's daughter. Jared Bowen scored with his first touch off the bench. Yeah, man, so I wonder what we're going to talk about today. Like I said, when I film these intros, it's more of my day starting, reflecting on the video before. And then, I sit down and I research and think about what do I want to talk about regarding Chelsea today, and what, might the people want to hear. Anyway, back to my run now. Maybe next time I'm in the wild, I'll be in an urban setting. Although, it's kind of nice being outdoors. Right, see you in the studio.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yes. What's happening, friends? Welcome on back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. And we're back in the room after the Jan in the Wild introduction. How are you doing, mate? Are you okay? Let me know. We could always discuss Chelsea down in the comment section and stuff, but it doesn't have to be that. You can be like, hey Jan, your intro this morning, hayfield. This is the details behind how hay grows. Or, I'm feeling good, or I'm feeling bad. We're all friends here. Anyway, in today's video, I want to discuss a few things. Firstly, Frank Lampard could be going to Coventry, which I haven't mentioned yet, which is a bit of fun. I do want to get into that as well. I haven't reacted yet to Romano saying that Christopher Nkunku is Chelsea are not entertaining a sale. And I know I've spoken about him a lot lately on the channel, but it is topical. He played for France yesterday, played maybe 90, I don't know if he came off, in the number 10 position behind two centre forwards. So it's not like Chelsea play. Of course, Chelsea play with a conventional striker and wingers, which is very different, but he was playing in the middle hole. So we're going to speak about that as well. Article from Court Offside, rating him poorly, but I think actually he probably played quite well. We'll speak about that as well. Look at his stats, and actually comparatively, I do want to have a word for Joao Felix, who I feel kind of bad for him. I know, look, he's just settling into his role, but even like Portugal, he is a last minute sub, just like he is for Chelsea. And this was supposed to be the one, like the Portuguese prodigal son. And look, there's nothing to suggest he's not going to realise his immense talent, and he literally just turned 25 like a couple of days ago. But my personal thinking is he suits the Cole Palmer role better than Nkunku, and we can get into that. We can get into all of it. As always, thanks for joining me, guys. Well over 190,000 subs now. Lovely stuff. It's incredible scenes, really. So I want to thank you for this support. I've been doing this 5 years or something. Superb support. What a great community we've cultivated here on YouTube. Minimal toxicity, and people of all ages. Everyone's welcome. So thank you for liking, and thank you for subscribing to this channel. Let's get into it. Right, first of all, should we have a quick word for lamps? Because that's nothing short of great fun. So this geezer called Sam C, he does have good insight, and he says, look, exclusive, Frank Lampard is now in advanced talks for the Coventry City head coach job. Process moving forwards towards the end now, more to follow. It looks like he's going to become the gaffer. He goes on to say, understand conversations with Lampard were around transfers and involvement and influence within the team. It helped his close ties to the Redknapp family helped. We've heard that one before. And of course, they were apparently looking at Ruud Gullit, but contact has slowed down with him for Frank Lampard. Man United fans might be thinking, what? Lampard getting the job over our beloved Ruud Gullit, who's just done well at Man United and, has done well at PSV. If you'll bear, I do want to speak about this for a moment. I know it's not directly Chelsea news, but it's Lampard, and I want to speak about it. Firstly, yes, Ruud Gullit, it's Chelsea on the mind. Van Nistelrooy did well in the last few games at United, and he's done well in the Dutch league. But Lampard has experience, like a lot more experience in English football, but experience in the Championship, taking a Championship team to the playoff final, and then being at the bottom of the Premier League, which could be, something else, but also playing with coaching good players and having the links to Chelsea, and maybe they're thinking he can do what he did with Derby and get some of that, because Lampard had a great relationship with Roman, right? That's how he got Mason Mount for Kyle Tomori on loan when he was at Derby, but he has got a great relationship with the new owners. They really like Lampard. Clear Lake and Todd Bowley, they invite him back loads. Of course, they brought him in for that interim period after Potter. That was a disaster, but it's hard to judge Frank on that because he looked around and went, well, no one's trying, no one wants to be here, no one's fit, sort of thing. But they do really like him. He's since come back to Chelsea loads, so there's a relationship there, and you have to suspect maybe he could do what he did. Look at that, zoomed in on this spot. I think you hate it when you just get a spot right in the middle of your face. Yeah, man. So I feel like he'll do the same. And look, again, I'm going to end in just a second. Just forgive me. I do want to speak about it. Everyone digs Lampard like he's a joke and he's a terrible manager. I'm not saying he's an amazing manager. We don't know how. The truth is we don't know how good he is. But he's never objectively failed. So he got appointed Derby manager because of his name and because he got Harry Redknapp put a word in for him. But he went there, they lost the Championship top scorer in Vidra. They lost the 3 best players, so he had to try and get them playing more possession football with none of their good players that all had to be sold and lower the age. He did all of that. Not only did he lower the age, bringing in Wilson and Mount and Tomori, he played sort of risk-taking dynamic football. He lost all the good players, and he still took them to a playoff final. Have they been to one since? No. Chelsea had a transfer ban. They lost Eden Hazard that represented 49% of the Premier League goal involvements. It was Hazard's best season at Chelsea. He lost that. And he brought the kids in. I think Lampard and Chelsea were favourites for 7th that season under the bookies because transfer ban, no Hazard, inexperienced manager. We finished top 4 and got to a cup final. Massive success from Lampard. Of course, it was slipping a bit. He got sacked and whatever. It was great they did because we won the Champions League with Tuchel. Even Everton, his remit with Everton was keep them up. He kept them up. He's never actually failed. I'm really excited. Look, I'm not saying he's an amazing manager. I'm just excited to see what he does at Coventry because they've been doing good lately. Like, didn't they give Man United a run for their money a season or 2 ago? Anyway, Lampard. Alright, so we're going to talk about Christophe for a little bit now, of course. Played for France yesterday in the number 10 behind Thuram and Kolo Muani. 2 centre forwards playing in each channel, which is interesting. And he played in the tip of a diamond, I guess, behind him, which is really interesting because I thought he'd be wanting to be one of the strikers, but dropping off a little bit, like a 4-4-2 or some sort of thing like that, and just playing off say, Kolo Muani rather than playing at the tip of the diamond. Now, we'll talk about how he played in a moment, but Fabrizio Romano on his YouTube channel said this: Chelsea are not entertaining offers for Christopher Nkunku. He is still considered a very important player, but Chelsea believe the situation will change in the second half of the season due to the scheduling and potential injuries, as in a positive way. He'll get more opportunities, and as it stands, Man United have not begun contact with Nkunku. There were stories, but the stories were suggesting that Nkunku would be open to a move rather than Manchester United were actively trying to sign him. Now, I'm going to talk about this and his position for France a little bit more. Just quickly jump into this article here from Caught Offside speaking. It says 4 out of 10, but I have a feeling this is from L'Equipe because I think he played quite well. So this is a Caught Offside. They've written this. They wrote in this. Chelsea forward Christopher Nkunku has earned the rating of just 4 out of 10 from a high-profile French outlet after the international clash with Italy. Of course, they played for France. They beat Italy away 3-1. An impressive all-round display in the Nations League. But the Chelsea man was one of the only players who really failed to get going in the game. I disagree. Also, it's Get French Football News gave Nkunku 4 out of 10. I thought it was going to be the notorious L'Equipe, that, you know, you can score like 7 goals and you'll get an 8. They'll never give a 10. With many of his teammates managing higher ratings. In their analysis of Nkunku's performance, the Blues ace was criticised for failing to adjust to a slightly new role and looking unable to provide much spark in the team's attack. And if you look on, for example, SofaScore, where it's got ratings, I won't pull it up now because I don't need to. Both the strikers were really low ratings, and you might argue that was to Nkunku behind them in terms of creativity. Now, this is not a hit piece, and I am going to praise Nkunku because Nkunku is an amazing footballer. He's so good. And even in this game, look, comment down below if you watch this game. I did. I think he was taking up really intelligent pockets of space, Nkunku, because that's what he can do. He can read what's going on around him and he can pick up the right space. And that's how he gets into the final third and finishes. For me, he is a finisher of chances. He's a really intelligent, I call him a shadow striker, cloak and dagger. He's really intelligent, you know, not always being at the top of the pitch, dropping into pockets and getting into those, you know, spaces. I think probably Didier Deschamps looked at him and was like, well, you like to operate in these spaces, play at the tip of a diamond behind the strikers. Look, they won 3-1 away at Italy. Great result. But you're still not getting the best out of a Christopher Nkunku there, you know? For me, he's just not like a creative player. He's a finisher of moves. And that's why Cole Palmer is the guy to play in the pocket, because he's super creative. He can score long-range goal. He can, like, you know, spray passes around. He can dribble, whatever. And he can do that half-turn really, really well. I mean, I don't need to tell you why Cole Palmer's good at football. He's freaking amazing. And that's why undisputed first choice. Nkunku, again, I will die on this hill. He might be the best finisher at Chelsea Football Club. He's not a centre forward because it's not the way he plays, and that's why it's kind of hard to fit him in. But he's not a creative number 10. That is, for me, Palmer and Joao Felix, who I do want to speak about in just a moment. But Nkunku, look, I've always said this, I've been very, very firm and very consistent. If we can make it work for him, we've got an amazing player. But I do wonder over time, if he's not a starter in Chelsea's first team, if he'll just want to go and play elsewhere. He's 27 now. He's starting for France in competitive games. He is a baller. Like in that game there, I wonder like if Didier Deschamps would have been better playing a 4-4-2 and letting Nkunku play, and, you know, dropping Thuram essentially and playing Nkunku play a little bit deeper, but playing off Kolo Muani on the right, who I think was better on the day, and then he can do a big man, little man with him and playing that left channel and not have the responsibility to be in central trying to play make, because that's not his game. But he has been good. He's obviously played most in the Conference League. I know this is a low level and he'll want to be playing higher. And it's because obviously I use X value for stats. They'll only pull up his Premier League minutes, and that's a bit unfair because he's come off the bench. He scored 1 goal off the bench, which was amazing because it was against Bournemouth. You know, huge 3 points. Probably didn't even deserve to win that game. We probably deserved to lose that game, and we win it. 3 massive points from Nkunku. Had we lost that game, we would be 1 point in front of Man United. This is the margins here. But I feel like, you know, it's unfair to pull up all these like bench minutes from the Prem that doesn't represent what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? So he's played 3 matches in the Conference League. He's got 4 goals and 1 assist, which is averaging, and he plays 73.34 minutes per match, which obviously means like a Mark Yu is coming on, you'd say, of that. He's averaging 1.34 goals per match. Again, he's just way above this level, isn't he? He's got an assist, but like I said, and that's 0.34. He's not a creator, he's a finisher of moves. You might think if he was like a false 9, all right, so he's starting as a centre forward, but if he's like a Roberto Firmino for Liverpool a few years ago, he's getting loads of assists as a false 9. He's not doing that. He's a finisher of moves, he's not a creator of moves. I mean, I'd love him to start dropping deep and doing the Cesc Fabregas, or, you know, like a prime Roberto Firmino as a false nine. Or, do you know what I mean? But you're not going to see that. And you want goals in football. He'll give you goals. There's just distribution, attacking is what we're looking at here. Total attempts on goal, 7 on target, 1 off target. So where's the other 2 gone? But generally, he shoots on target. Again, this is in the Conference League. Penalty scored 2. Penalties missed, none. Hopefully, for him, we keep him. All throughout the season, he wins the Conference League as, I don't know, top scorer, Conference League. He lifts the trophy as a European trophy winner. He wins the Golden Boot, which is nothing to sniff at. You know, it's something his first season back after injury. And I don't know if there's Player of the Season, award, Player of the Competition rather, if that is a thing in Conference League. He wins that, gets a few games, gets a few goals in the Prem. Time will tell. Everyone's going to have an opinion on this. We all want him to do well, find a way into the team, and find a way to get the most out of him. That's what we all want together. So let's not argue, right? But time will tell. My fear is, I'm not saying I want this, my fear is we won't find a way. We work better with starting other players, and he'll rightly want to go and start elsewhere for a Champions League team, which he absolutely could do. So we'll see what happens. We'll hope for the best for Nkunku, but we're going to see throughout the season, and I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and I hope to be wrong. Maybe he can play in the pocket. Like, a lot of people are saying play him where Cole Palmer is and play Cole Palmer on the right. I personally agree with lots of you from my Instagram poll and think, for the moment, Sancho on the left, Neto on the right, keep Palmer where he is, and Jackson up top. Of course, there's been speak about could Palmer and Joao Felix play together. Many of you will be saying, well, why can't Palmer and Nkunku play together? Because again, Enzo Maresca's words, not mine. He says Palmer and Felix the same profile, same position, Jackson and Nkunku. He's made a decision where they're going to play, and it seems like he's not going to play Nkunku in the pocket. Let's move on. So I do want to spend a couple of minutes on Joao Felix. I saw a couple of people saying that they don't like the videos being really long. I apologise if you're one of them, but I enjoy speaking about it. It's a bit more of a conversational piece. I know people these days want snappy, fast content, but I'm not doing that. So here we are. Yeah, man. So I do want to speak a little bit about Joao Felix, because I kind of feel a little bit bad for him, because he is great. He's a good footballer. He does work hard. And look, when that first game for Chelsea against Fulham, he just ran all over the place and got a red card, the first time around. And that was like, I've played for Diego Simeone. I know how to work hard. But he's not like some luxury. I don't know. I almost said Hakim Ziyech, but I liked Ziyech. I don't want to dig him out. But he's not like this mercurial luxury player that's just going to hang out. He will try. He'll try and run and tackle and press. He will do it. And he's got immense quality. We talk about, if for example, France yesterday, if they had Joao Felix to start in that role that Nkunku played behind Marcus Thuram and behind Randall Kolo Muani, I think the strikers get much higher SofaScore ratings because they've got a creator like Joao Felix playing in a pocket rather than a finisher like a move finisher like Nkunku. So I do feel bad for him. Obviously, he's suffering a little bit from Palmer just being so good and so available all the time. And, long may that continue because he's an absolute superstar. But again, to reiterate what I said a minute ago, Maresca was quoted in a press conference saying maybe there could come a point where you see both Palmer and Joao Felix starting in the same team. Obviously, in that case, you'll be relying on a fullback to join Caicedo as the bottom of the pivot, and then you will have. And obviously, like Lavia, I guess doesn't start then. Maybe, I don't know, something like that. You'll have Joao Felix and Cole Palmer as these kind of like 8-10 players. Do you know what I mean? With wingers either side of them and someone in front of them. That would be very, very exciting because again, you wouldn't mark Cole Palmer out of a game because then you're just leaving extra space for a creator like Joao Felix to cook basically, even at the highest level in the Prem. So these get again, it's just all theory and conceptual at the moment. But like those two games, Arsenal and Man United, we got a draw and a draw. Okay, home against Arsenal, away at Man United. Both those games, they locked down Cole Palmer successfully, as good opposition do. And I, think Man United are better than they were under Ten Hag. What happens in both those games if, Thomas Partey is doing a job on Palmer and whoever, was it Ugarte or Casemiro? I can't remember who it was in the United game. If Joao Felix is also flying around and getting his head up and playing these passes in, obviously we might be more vulnerable and lose, but it is interesting. And for the record, I'm not saying he's going to throw Felix and Palmer in for the big games. The opposite. I think he's going to try and do it in games when there's deep blocks, and we need to be really, really creative to break down a deep block that will rarely attack. Then I think he'll do it. But it's just all a thought exercise. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. It's been a long video again. Hopefully you don't mind. Please do comment down below. Thank you for joining me as always. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And I do hope to see you back here very soon. Peace.